Welcome to the Lambton College International Graduate Services and Support Center, your dedicated resource for navigating life after graduation. We know the journey can be complex, from understanding immigration processes to making career decisions and expanding your professional network. That's why we're here, to simplify these challenges and support your transition into Canadian life. At the International Graduate Services and Support Center, our mission extends beyond your academic achievements. We are here to facilitate your successful integration into the Canadian workforce and society. From career counseling to workshops on Canadian workplace culture and immigration support, our services are tailored to meet the unique needs of international graduates. We're committed to empowering you with the tools and knowledge necessary for success. Embrace the opportunity to connect with fellow graduates and professionals through our networking events and stay informed with our comprehensive webinars covering a range of topics crucial for your postgraduate success. Remember, the path to achieving your aspirations is a journey we undertake together. Ready to take the next step? Visit our website and join our supportive community. Remember to follow us on Instagram and on LinkedIn for upcoming immigration webinars, networking events, and much more. Together, let's make your postgraduate journey a success.
All right, good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Cristina Yiguren, and I'm the coordinator of the International Graduate Services and Support Center. I want to remind you that we are recording this webinar so that you can watch it later again on our YouTube channel, and you are also going to get a recording shortly. Also want to invite you to follow us on our social media accounts where you are going to get the latest information about the center. Next week, we're going to host a PTWP webinar. So if you just graduated, I really recommend you to attend. You will get a lot of information from our immigration consultant. This center is dedicated to assisting you, our international graduates, as you seek employment and settling to Canadian life following graduation. Our international graduates have access to immigration, career advice, and networking events. Also, there are countless reasons why you can take pride in being a Lambton graduate, as I'm also very proud of working here. We've been ranked as one of Canada's top research colleges, and we're here to support you all the way, even after graduation. Today, we're going to host an amazing event about the CELPIP test, the reading and writing portion of it. And for that, we have CELPIP with us, a very well-known English academy. We have two amazing guests. I will be introducing them shortly. And I want to remind you how important it is to study languages, especially English and French. And we're going to talk a little bit about French as well in a moment. You have gotten for sure an invitation to join CELPIP's free demo lesson. So if you are interested, this is a great opportunity. I do really recommend you go to your email. If you haven't gotten for any reason, send me an email and I can totally forward it to you. But today we're going to cover the CELPIP part. And for that, we have Christina and Sharzad. Christina is the Director of International Student Advisory Team at CELPIP Education Group. In her role, she's responsible for overseeing direct sales operations and student recruitment, contributing to CELPIP's mission of providing high-quality English language education to international students. We also have Sharzad. She's an ESL teacher with over 12 years of experience in Canada and abroad. With a background in software engineering and AI, she brings an analytic approach to language teaching. She focuses on building students' confidence through practical communication skills and enjoyed making CELPIP and IELTS preparation engaging. I'm sure you're going to get great value in today's session. Just somehow skip them before we get started. Please remember to keep your questions in the Q&A, and we're going to get to leave the chat to interact a little bit. So make sure you put all your questions there so we won't miss them. So that's it from my side. Thank you again, Sharzad and Christina. I will pass it over to you now.
Thank you. Christina, I think I can start Okay, so hello everyone. It's nice to have you all here. Today we're going to work on reading and writing skills. So let me share my screen. I will start with the reading first, and then I will move on to the writing. Let me show you how the test actually gonna look like. So can you see my screen? All right. So this is actually a kind of practice test, but the test itself is kind of similar, except that during the test, you won't be able to select. It will just start from the listening and then reading, writing, and finally speaking. As I mentioned, today we're going to work a little bit on the reading part. And to do so, I will just go to the reading part, and it has 4 sections, but I'm gonna only work on the one that I feel like could be a little bit challenging for some candidates. And that is part 3, where you need to read an article. It has 4 paragraphs, and there is one part that says not given in any of the above paragraphs. Because CELPIP is a Canadian test, usually the articles are somehow related to Canada. It doesn't mean that you have to know about Canada, like the history or anything, but in general, it helps if you've lived a couple of years or if you have some knowledge, but it's not like if you don't have the knowledge, it's still possible to answer the questions. So in this part, as I mentioned, there are 4 paragraphs, and you have the questions on the right side and the reading part on the left side. So to answer the questions, there are different ways depending on people's preference, but one way that we can do is first reading one paragraph, not spending too much time, like not reading everything carefully, but understanding what that paragraph is generally about. So I'm gonna give you 1 minute to read the first paragraph only and ignore the sentences right now. Later, we are going to say, for example, this paragraph. Is it this sentence? Is it in the first paragraph, the second one, the third, fourth, or E, which is none of them? So as you can see, we have paragraph A here, B, C, D. So let's just read paragraph A, only A, do not read B, please. And then we will, and I want you to write a couple of words that like a keyword that says this paragraph is, I don't know, about the history of something, or is it about a research? And then write your keywords in the chat, please. So 1 minute, just read that one. Okay, your time is up, and I still haven't got any keywords in the chat. I don't know if, okay. Okay, maybe I'll do the first paragraph. All right, I see some thoughts. So we have, okay, so it is about different national parks and how, like, we don't need to know the numbers. It's not important right now, and they're usually easy to find, so we don't think too much about them. But then there is about one specific national park, so probably the whole article is going to be about that one. And also it is talking about grizzly bears. I just saw that. That's not again, but it talks about animals in that national park. And there is something that says it's a World Heritage Site. So in general, it's a little bit general information on different national parks and then one specific national park in Canada. And so we're yet not going to talk about the sentences. That can be one way of answering the questions, that now you can go to the questions and see which one is about paragraph A, but usually that can be a little bit confusing for some people. So we will move on to paragraph B. You will have 1 minute to read paragraph B, and then this time, please let me know. Okay, you guys already answered the question. Yes, that's one of them can be correct, but one of them not really. But let's just read paragraph B and only ignore the question part. You don't need to answer any questions yet. Just tell me, what is paragraph B about? So as I can see, yes, it is. There are two main topics in this paragraph. I can see both. One is the location, and the other is the fact that it is a climate research. So it's one of the Canada's oldest climate research bases. So in general, the things that we need to remember is that if somewhere in the questions we have something about the location, it will be in paragraph B. And also if anything related to climate research, it might be in paragraph B. I say might be because sometimes they say something about the climate, but still it's not related to research or it's not related to this part. So right now we know that if anything related to climate research or the location we see, it might be in this paragraph. Now we move on to paragraph C, and we do the same. 1 minute reading and taking notes of what this paragraph is about. Okay, let's see what we have here. Any ideas? Any keywords? Aboriginal people, definitely. So it starts with like people who were living there for a very long time, and then it talks about Aboriginal people. And then here it is talking about how it changed into a reserved area. And finally, it says that, so because it's a reserved area, we might not need to know the details. We can always go back and read, but it is good that there is a little bit of change here, because people used to live there, but then after this highway, it cut off the natural resources to the people who depended on it, meaning Aboriginal people, right? So let's do the same for the last paragraph. And yes, I can see the presence of humans. Any idea? Exactly. People regained access because now it's like national park and reserve. So now those Aboriginal people can again harvest resources. And so this part is also, we see Aboriginal people quite often in this part as well, but the way it is talking about them is a little bit different. So here it's mostly they lost their resources, but here they regained it. So regain can be one of the keywords here. Now that we have all the notes, so we know what paragraph A is about, B, C, and D, we will go to the questions. Park visitation is dependent upon approval from Aboriginal nations. Did we see this one anywhere? It says Aboriginal nations, so it should be in paragraph C or D. But did we see anything about approval? Like if people want to visit the park, do they need approval of Aboriginal nations? So do you think it is in paragraph C or D, or it's not in any of the paragraphs? If it is not in any of the paragraphs, we are going to choose E. So can you write your answers in the chat? I agree with you, Oscar. It's E, because as I mentioned, we do see the word Aboriginal here, but when we read them, nothing was about the approval part. And how about 2? So we see regulated commercials. So we had the regulations, like rules, and within the park's boundaries, we had something like this again in C and D. because it was about regulations, but it's more like allowing something than not allowing. So which paragraph do you think it is? Yes, D. And I'm not going to do 7 and 8. We will move on to the writing, but let's do up to 6. 3. It says the fact that they had the natural reserve negatively impacted Aboriginal people. So again, we have Aboriginal people, so it's either C or D, but we're talking about the negative impact on them. So which paragraph do you think it is? Yes, that's right, C. And question 4, experts use park facilities to generate data. Okay, now we have data, so it brings the research part on environmental factors. It's like the climate and everything. So it seems like the only paragraph that talked about research was B, and the other parts doesn't say anything that is different. So I think 4 is quite straightforward. Okay, I see a 4A, but let's see why that is the case. A is not talking about the research, right? The paragraph that talks about climate and research was the B part, right? So yes, 4 is B. And 5, cuts in governmental funding. Okay, we have the word cut somewhere, but was it related to funding, like money or anything? Led to the park being closed for visitation. And did we see anything that was related to the fact that the park was closed for a while to the public or not? Yeah, that's right, Alicia, it's E. Because again, we saw the word cut, but it doesn't mean that that's in the same context. And we never read anything related to funding or being closed. And 6 says, the park received important recognition. Okay, we did not talk about recognition in any of B, C, and D paragraphs, but there was something related to that in A from an international institution. We can see some words here. So if we read it carefully, we will see that it is, which paragraph? Yes, exactly. Okay, Alicia says she thought it was D. Let me see why. Important recognition. Important recognition is like maybe not exactly a prize, but being recognized by an international institution. No, these are names of some First Nations. So we don't see any, like, as I said, not exactly a prize, but you should think more of something like that. That's why it's not D, because in the D part, we don't see any international institution. If we saw international institutions, then maybe we could think it could be this one. So as you can see, the article might have some vocabulary that you don't know, but it's not a big deal as long as you understand the whole overall idea of what it is about, like each paragraph is about. And if you take notes, at least you know which paragraphs to go back and read one more time more carefully. For example, maybe for the one that was C3, like maybe for 3, we're not sure exactly because it was the last sentence, but at least we know that the negative impact was in this paragraph. So we can just read it one more time a little bit more carefully to make sure that's the answer. Okay, good. So if you have questions regarding the reading part, I will, after explaining a little bit about the writing part, we will have time for that as well. So let's move on to the writing. Just give me a second. All right. So we have 2 tasks, 2 writing tasks, as this is again exactly how you will see the writing in the actual test as well. The first one is an email, and you will have a context, like what the email, like what is the situation on the left side, and then the fact that you need to write an email here to a friend. Sometimes it's to your boss, sometimes to a more formal situation. And then you will have usually 3 prompts, and these are not something that would guide you. It is actually important to address all of them. If you don't do that, then you will not get a good task response. And for both, like writing task 1 and writing task 2, you need to write 100 to 150 to 200 words. Some people think that it means if they write 210, it's too long. Well, if it makes sense that you wrote 210, it's okay, but more than that is too much. And some people think that, okay, I will just put some words to reach the minimum, but that's not enough. I think something around 180 or like 190 would be ideal, not because of the word count, but because of the support. You need to support everything that you say. Again, I have noticed that the email is usually easier for everyone because we send emails a lot. So we are going to go to the next task, which is a survey. And if you have done IELTS before, maybe you already know a little bit about email, but the survey is totally different. And one more thing is that, well, in the test as well, you will start writing here. So you will be like, dear, for example, here it's a friend, right? So not dear, because dear is too formal. Let's say, hi, Tom. So I just want to show you that you don't need to count your words. You will see word counts here. And if you make a mistake with the spelling, I don't know if it is showing here as well. No, it's not. But if you make mistakes in your spelling, it will be highlighted and you can correct it. So let's go to the next one. All right. Now here we have a survey. For a survey, first we need to read the left side carefully. It says university parking survey. So it's like either you are the staff or the student in a university. It means the survey doesn't have to be very academic or like essay. So it's not an essay, it's not academic. And it can even be a little bit informal because it's to your probably university staff, or so it's not too formal either. The question says, whenever you read the question, you need to, you cannot highlight, but you do have a paper and they will give you a piece of paper and a pen. So you can write down the important things on that. There is a lack of parking at your university. So this is the situation that they're gonna address. The school wants to provide more parking, but with more parking, it would cost a lot because and cause tuition to increase. So if they provide more parking, they will increase the tuition. So they have another option. They could provide free bus passes to students and faculty. So instead of having more parking, they will give free bus passes. And they hope that this would convince people to take transit instead. So they won't need, if they have free bus passes, then they won't need more parking lot. The university has asked you to complete an opinion survey, and you always have two options that you need to select. Spend the money to build new parking lot. Tuition fee is gonna increase. Provide free bus passes to students and faculty. So, which one do you think is better? Like, what is your opinion personally? B. Okay, now tell me why. Why do you think B is better? Because sometimes you might think that one option is better, but then you might not have like enough. I just got a question. If choosing the hard one is the better option, not really. It doesn't matter which one you choose. The better option is the one that you can support better. Not everybody has a car. That's a good reason, actually. The reason is tuition fee. Okay, what else? So let me just write them here. Not everyone has a car. Tuition fee, like the increase in tuition fee. What else do we have? Not everyone can afford high fee. Anything else? So to make it a little bit, so it's more inclusive, even people without a car can actually benefit. But if you don't have a car, so it's not gonna help you. Environmental impact. While this can be a good option, you need to be careful a little bit. As I mentioned, it's not an essay, it's a survey. And when we have survey, yes, we do care about the environment, but usually, mostly, people care about themselves a little bit more. So if you want to even support the environmental part of it, make sure you use the right wording, which is not going to make it like an essay. Because in an essay, yes, we're gonna talk about the impact it can have like on the whole world. But here it's just a survey. It's like your university is asking you, do you want this or that? So it can be a good idea, but we need to be a little careful while we're supporting it. What else? Do we have any other ideas? Okay, so right now with this much of brainstorm, I don't feel like it is enough. But what do you think if we chose option A? It might cause traffic issues. Okay, this is still for the first one, traffic issues around the university. Again, I added around the university because it's important to keep thinking about the fact that it is not a world problem. It's your problem, and the university want to help you. Okay, let's say we want to choose the other option, option B. Do you have anything in favor of that? No? Okay, everybody wants free bus passes. So let's see. Here you can say especially when we are talking about the tuition fee and the high cost, we can generally say that you can use the bus pass like for other travels as well. It's not just your commute, right? You can use it if you're going somewhere else as well. Do we have anything else? We could save some money. If the majority use bus, then traffic will be less. Long-term solution, environmental. Okay, yeah, so apparently we all want this one. So we had like, I wrote them already in groups, but we had like scattered ideas. We were brainstorming, but we should group them. So let's say we will have one group, how it can help everyone, and it is mostly regarding the cost. And the other one is the impact on the environment or traffic and things like that. So we need to have two groups. And then I don't want to call it introduction. I don't want to say it's introduction paragraph because, as I said, it's not an essay, but we need one sentence clearly stating our opinion, and then we need our first reason, or first I will call it group, because it's important to have the same ideas in the same paragraph. And the second one, and sometimes if you cannot support here, it seems like we have enough support, but sometimes if you cannot support very well and you think your paragraphs are going to be too short, so we can have a third one. And again, I don't want to call it a conclusion, but it is like a concluding sentence that you can start with something like, instead of in conclusion, which is usually used for an essay, you can use something like therefore or overall. And then again, state your opinion, that which one is better. So we all said B is better. Let's write one sentence in the chat. You will have 3 minutes, and then I think that will be, and then I will give feedback, and I think that will be the end of the writing part as well. but let's write one sentence that you clearly state your opinion, and then I will give you feedback about 2 to 3 minutes. I just saw someone in the chat, in the Q&A box, saying that option B is very convenient. Let's say it's very convenient. If you have that in your mind, you need to be able to support, because like, what makes it convenient? Because when we think about convenience, it's like, okay, if you drive your car, it's more convenient than riding a bus. So the support is more important than the idea. Like, why is it very convenient? Okay, do I have any sentences in the chat? It doesn't have to be a very complicated or complex sentence. But even with that simple sentence, sometimes I see that students or CELPIP candidates make mistakes. Okay, I have one. I will opt for option B, which is providing a free bus fee. We don't use fee. I know. I see that you wanted to change the wording, which is good, but we don't use fee because you already say free. So you can say pass. That's the name of it. It's okay if you don't change it, as this could give the students and the faculty ample time to go through their notes and lesson while they're on the go. Okay, because this is the first paragraph where you want to give your opinion on which one is better, if you give any reasons, let me see, as this could give. So here you're giving a reason. It's like, because this could give. It means your whole answer, all the paragraphs, are going to be about the time that they have to go through their notes and lessons while they're on the go. So I would recommend you not to give any reasoning here. But if you feel like this is too short, and I agree, you can just add, and instead of I will opt, you can say something like, I think, in my opinion, option B, which is blah, 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 is more beneficial. You don't even need to say for the student and faculty, but you can if you want. And then if you need to say, okay, I do have some reasons, you can say for a few reasons, or for a couple of reasons, or for several reasons. Several, I think better not to say several because we only have 2 reasons right now. And then you can start with the first reason why I think, and then the rest of it. Okay, do I have anything else? Okay, I will wait a little bit more. But also, when we say something like they can go through their notes and lessons, make sure you have good support for it. For example, I can say, well, I can listen to a podcast while I'm driving. So it might not be my first reason. It might be only, I can talk about it if I see that I don't have a lot of reasons. So I can say, okay, while I'm on the bus or on subway, I can actually review lessons or go through my notes. So that I would say is, or I don't know, watch the videos of my lessons. That would be probably my last go-to because I do have better reasoning. But yes, you can say, I don't have a lot of time at home to study, so the commute is a good time for me to take advantage of the commute to study. Okay, I don't have any other sentences, and to write the whole paragraph we will need more time. So if you have any questions, I don't see a lot of questions, but if you do have questions, please feel free to start asking them. It can be about anything related to reading and writing and CELPIP in general. And others can continue writing their first sentence of this survey. I keep saying it's not an essay, and then I said essay. You guys are 20 people here. It's a good time for you to write something and let me check it for you. All right, it's okay. We can think of how we can talk about this. All right, this is how the brainstorming part works. So first of all, make sure you write all your ideas and then select the best ones, because sometimes you might have quite a lot of ideas on one simple topic. Sometimes you might not. So let's start with this part. The first reason why I think option B is better is how it can help with we can say it's more environmentally friendly. I'm trying to use your own ideas. That's why I don't want to change your wording. The first reason why I think option B is better is that it is more environmentally friendly. And now that I need support, so in my support, or we can even say it motivates more people. It encourages students to use public transport. Now that I want to give my support, if I have different things, I can use things like firstly, secondly, finally, or if I'm moving to a new idea, I can use moreover or furthermore, or I can also say also, but also is usually used when you're still talking about almost the same topic. But for moreover and furthermore, it's like, okay, now I'm going to the next reason. You can also, instead of firstly, you can say something like to begin with or to start with. You can even sometimes use next, but I believe that you don't need to have a lot of them because it's just 2 short paragraphs. And these will be enough. And you will only write it once, so it doesn't really matter. Let me see if I have any questions. The Q&A.
We do have one question, but not really the Q&A. It's in the chat, how to improve reading.
Oh, okay. How to improve reading. It's a little bit too general, but if you're talking about the CELPIP reading, the first 2 parts are pretty easy in terms of vocabulary. The second 2 parts are a little bit more challenging, but I still feel like if you know like upper intermediate vocabulary, you can still do it. So vocabulary, while can be important in the reading, in improving it, but if you go to university here or if you go to college here, it means that your range of vocab is okay for the reading. The part that usually candidates struggle is the comprehension. And for that, you probably need to read more in general. If you don't have time and you have to do your test ASAP, that might not help. So you need to be more focused on the CELPIP. But if you have like 3 months until you want to do the test, then you might want to read more in general, like different articles or the news or even your course books. So whatever that I have recently found out that even when you read in your own language, if you are a reader in general, it will help with the comprehension. Well, of course, it takes longer. So I'm not saying that go read something in your language and then you will be good in reading in English. But I'm just saying that in that comprehension part is more of a reading ability than only the language. So the language, knowing the language is usually not the problem. The problem is the fact that we don't read that much anymore, or if we do, it's like very short things on social media. So find anything that is interesting to you and read it in English. Anything else? So I think we are done for today. I mean, I'm done for today, and I'll ask Chris to continue. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. I hope you hear me well. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. So I see some questions. I see the interaction from everyone. So thank you again for joining us today. And I'm going to just share my presentation on the prep courses that we offer at CELPIP Education Group. So I see some questions, how to improve my reading, how to improve, again, the reading skills or writing skills. So we offer preparation courses at CELPIP, both in person and online. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen so you can see the options that we have. And I will also... Just give me a thumbs up if you can see the presentation. You do? Okay, great, awesome. I don't have the option right now to just leave my email in the chat, but I will do it in a moment. So then if you have any questions, let me just start from the beginning. If you have any questions, then for sure we can meet, book any meeting, phone call, and go through the booking process. So first, I want to talk to you about the CELPIP Education Group. I'm sure many of you know about us. We are a partner of Lambton College. We've been partners for over a decade already. And sorry, I see the session here. Let me just remove this. All right. So CELPIP started as an English school almost 30 years ago in 1997. Then over the years, we created different divisions as in-person classes, online courses. We also offer German classes online, French classes online. We can talk about that at the very end. Career college. We opened a high school this past September, and we are also IELTS and CELPIP test center in both locations, Toronto and Vancouver. Okay. We have campuses, as I mentioned, in both Toronto and Vancouver cities. Every year we host, we welcome students from 90 nationalities in both our in-person and online delivery methods. And we host over 20,000 students. Again, we have partnership with over 100 institutions here in Canada and 200 in the US, and Lambton College has been one of our good partners over a decade. The locations in both Toronto and Vancouver, we are located downtown Toronto and downtown Vancouver if anyone is considering moving to the West Coast. The options, what's on the menu? So I know that this session is focused on CELPIP, but many of you are also considering taking the IELTS test for immigration. So we also offer that preparation courses, okay? In person in the morning for IELTS courses. The schedule goes from Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning until 1 p.m. in the afternoon. If you're considering something in the evening as well in person, then we also offer IELTS and CELPIP. IELTS, we start classes every Monday, whereas for CELPIP, our start dates run every 3 weeks. Okay, we're going to be talking about more in depth in the next slides about this. The schedule, classes go from 6 to 9:45 p.m. Monday through Thursday. We don't have classes on Fridays. You could choose to come on a full-time schedule or part-time schedule, Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday in the same schedule, 6 to 9:45 p.m. All right. Fees for the part-time schedule is $130 per week, or full-time schedule, $190 per week. For those choosing to come to study with us in our in-person delivery method in the evening schedule, we have this amazing promotion where someone who registers for a 8-week full-time program or 12 weeks on part-time basis, CELPIP covers the test. So after taxes, it comes up to $310 $25. So that's the cost of the test that ILAC will cover for anyone registering under this condition for the Net School program for the evening schedule. Okay. We also offer IELTS preparation online. We offer in 4 different time slots, and again, on a full-time basis, Monday until Friday or Sunday to Thursday, depending on the different slot. Okay. And the promotion that we have right now is at $120 per week for a minimum of 12 weeks booking. Same thing for online, but for online CELPIP, what we offer is a 4-week course. It's a very fast-paced, fast-tracked, accelerated course. Again, delivered online. We start classes every other Monday, so every 2 weeks. And classes go from Monday until Thursday with an option of a Friday drop-in. This option is delivered in 2 different time slots, so 6 to 8 p.m. Toronto time or 6 to 8 p.m. Vancouver time. And the price is at $100 per week. Okay, I'm gonna just be talking more in depth about the schedules. I know that some questions in the chat were around, how to do better in reading or writing, or I know some other candidates maybe just want to focus more on specific skill. So for the in-person classes, again, delivered in the evening, so 6 to 9:45 p.m. Monday through Friday, right? Again, you could choose to come on a full-time basis, Monday through Friday, or part-time, where we have the 2 options, part-time A, Monday and Wednesdays, or part-time B, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can see here in this chart that we focus on 1 skill per day. So on Mondays, we do reading, Tuesdays, listening, Wednesdays, writing and speaking. So if you want to choose to focus on reading and writing, then you can do the part-time A. You can register for the part-time A, Monday and Wednesday, so you know that we will be focusing on reading and writing. Okay, those who just want to focus on listening and speaking, then they can choose part-time B. Again, the schedule is the same, 6 to 9:45 p.m. Okay, any questions so far? I don't know, I don't see it in the chat. Let me just open the chat. Oh, okay, thank you, Chris. You left my email there. Appreciate it. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So start dates. So for the start dates for the CELPIP, as we said before, for IELTS, in the evening schedule, in-person delivery method, you could start every Monday. But for CELPIP, because it's a 6-week program, then we have specific start dates. We just started this past Monday, and so the following one would be on June 9th. So every 3 weeks, okay? Keep this in mind, it's super, super important for those interested in the in-person delivery method. Again, $190 per week for the full-time schedule or $130 per week for the part-time schedule. Registration fee, $120, one time only. Okay. And here are the promotions for the Net School in-person evening delivery method. As we said before, ILAC covers the free test, whether if you choose to study to focus on the IELTS exam preparation or CELPIP exam preparation. The only condition is that as long as you book at least 8 weeks on full-time or 12 weeks on part-time schedules, ILAC will cover the test fee. Okay. But however, if you want to just register for a shorter period of time, we have this other promotion. So you could choose between these 2 promotions. When you register for 5 weeks, we will add 1 additional week for free. So if you pay 5 weeks, you will study for 6 weeks. If you pay for 10 weeks, you will study for 12 weeks. Okay, again, for every 5 weeks, ILAC will give you 1 additional week for free. Now, for those who want to take the self-preparation courses but online, we offer, as we said before, what we call the bootcamp. It's a just 4 weeks course, and you could register for a minimum of 2 weeks, and the start dates happen every 2 weeks as well. Again, the schedule goes from Monday until Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Toronto time or 6 to 8 p.m. Vancouver time. you can see that we have them grouped as well. So every 2 weeks, we focus on a specific skill. So week 1 and week 2 on listening and speaking, and then week 3 and 4 on reading and writing. So whenever you're registering for the course, you can select the start date, and then you can see which skill we're going to be teaching for the following 2 weeks. Okay, so you could register a minimum of 2 weeks, or then maximum the whole course is 4 weeks, a fast track course. In terms of the fees, the tuition fee is $100 per week, and registration fee, it's only $50, a one-time fee only. So for 4 weeks, you'll be paying $450, okay? For registration process is very simple and straightforward. We will just need the online test results. So you need to take a free assessment test. If you have already taken the CELPIP test or IELTS test or TOEFL test before, we can just waive the online test. So we will just need a copy of those certificates, and then you will fill out the registration form. Same for the net school delivery method as well. Okay. For those who are in Toronto or Vancouver and they want to come and try one class for free, we do offer trial lessons in our evening schedule in-person delivery method. You could register by Friday the week before, and we offer trial lessons on both Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay. Any questions? We are here to help you. You can either email us at info@ilac.com. You can also email me. You have my email in the chat, or you can also call us or message us on WhatsApp at the number on the screen. So thank you again for your time. I'm going to just stop sharing the screen in case there are any questions, any comments.
Everything has been already replied in the Q&A and the chat as well. Yeah, I think we're all set with that. Oh, if you can talk a little bit about the French classes.
Oh, French classes. Yes, thank you. Yes, we had that in the agenda. All right, so let me just share my screen again. So I believe you all received an email that Christina sent already. So thank you, Chris, for sending that information. All right, so good thing is that we're going to be also teaching French online. The launch of this course starts on June 2nd. Okay, but before we do that, we want you to get a sense of what the classes will look like. And so for that, we have demo lessons. We started yesterday and we will do some today as well, and then the following week. So here on the screen, just give me a thumbs up. I think you can see the screen, right? Yeah, thank you, Chris. So then today, Thursday at 6 p.m. Toronto time, I will share the link with you in the chat as well, but then you can see that you have to register for the session. It will last for 1 hour, or then 9 p.m. Toronto time. Okay, so 6 and 9 p.m. Toronto time today, and then next Wednesday and Thursday as well. Same time slots, 6 and 9 p.m. Toronto time on both days. All right. In terms of the classes, the schedule will be again in the same in 2 time slots. So 6 to 9 p.m. Toronto time, or 9 p.m. to midnight. So you will be able to choose between these 2 time slots. We offer general French courses. Okay, we are going to be talking now about the levels. So again, Monday through Thursday, this is a general French course, and then on Friday, what we do a more of a speaking and review. Okay, so again, classes will go actually from Monday through Friday, but Monday through Thursday, we focus on the academics, on the general French course, and then on Friday, we do more of the speaking and review assessment. Okay, in terms of the levels, you can see that we have all those levels from A1, and we have like divided in subgroups, right? So A1.1, that will be 4 weeks, A1.2, again, 4 weeks. So each one of those levels take 4 weeks to complete. At the end of the 4 weeks, you will get assessed, and based on performance and ongoing performance, quizzes, and teachers' evaluation, you will be able to move to the next levels. Okay, so every level takes 4 weeks to be completed. From level B1, that's when you can start with the test preparation. Okay, at the moment, we are not offering. We will start with general French classes, and then once we have the demand for the French prep the test prep courses, we will start. But then again, the minimum level required would be level B1 for someone to start with the test preparation courses. Okay. In terms of tuition and promotions, so tuition fee will be at a $100 per week. Registration fee, it's again $120 registration fee. This applies to any course. So what I want to say here is that you don't have to pay a registration fee for any program that you register. So let's say you register for a CELPIP preparation course. So you pay the registration fee and that's it. It's for the first time that you register at ILAC as a new student. If you were a student before, maybe some of you have taken our pathway program to then get accepted into Lambton College, then again, you have already paid the registration fee, so you will not pay these again, okay? So registration fee is one time only. And then the material fee, which is $10 per week, okay? Now, the amazing promotion is that when you enroll for 7 weeks, we will add 1 extra week. So you pay for 7 weeks, but you study for 8 weeks. If you pay for 14 weeks, then we give you 2 additional weeks for free. Therefore, you will study for 16 weeks. This promotion ends on June 30th. Okay, so you'll have to register before the end of the promotion. You can start at a later time, that's okay, but you'll have to book your course and pay for your classes before June 30th, before the promotion ends. Now, in terms of the start dates, as we mentioned, this is a 4-week cycle, right? So each level takes 4 weeks. So we would advise students to start always at a main start date, which, as we said, the first cohort will start on June 2nd. All right. And then June 30th. So every 4 weeks, every month. We do allow students to start on a second week, June 9th, as an alternative start date as well. All right. So you can see in the schedule, again, that would be June 30th, the following one, and then July 7th, and so on and so forth. So those dates that you see highlighted in dark blue, those are the main start dates, the ones that we advise you to start on. Okay, and the registration process is very simple as well. You will take the initial assessment test. We need to know what's your English level, French level in this case. You will fill out the registration form. We do not need a copy of the passport because so we're gonna get rid of this. Since it will be an online course, you don't need to send us a copy of the passport. It's very easy and straightforward. You take the French online assessment test, fill out the application form, and then you send it to us via email. You can send it to info@ala.com, or if you're in contact with an agency, you will send it to your agents, okay? And then you will start classes. Any questions? I don't see the chat. Oh, here.
Yeah, I have shared already all the registration links for
thank you.
every single demo ILAC will be hosting. So remember, the first one will be today at 6 p.m. and again today at 9 p.m. And then we do have 2 more next week, May 30th and I'm sorry, yeah, is it May 3rd? No, May 28th.
And 29.
And 29, again,
Yeah.
6 and 9 p.m. So you do have the links over there. You already got in the email as well. And you can register. It's great. ILAC is offering a lot of extras, like extra week for free and the free test. It's amazing. So you should take advantage of it. It's great. I think we do not have any more questions. Oh, you have the link for the French as well there?
Yes, I just sent it. So then if they have any other questions, I'm going to just share my email as well, because remember that once we log off of this session, then you don't have access to the chat. So in case you have any questions, please do. I'm going to also share my WhatsApp just in case. Oh, no, that's ILAC's WhatsApp. So I want to just share it both. So ILAC's.
We recommend you now just to copy all this information and then you go through the links and register and you can contact Christina.
Exactly. If you have some questions, right? Because I know that we covered a lot. But so if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@ila.com or my own personal email, and then I'll connect you with one of the advisors. Same, you have the WhatsApp number. So whichever channel you prefer to use, please feel free and we will be here to help you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if you do have any questions about the reading and writing that we have seen today, or even the French, we're going to host the same session today at 5:30 p.m. You will just need to register again because it's going to be another link, but we will be happy to have you again. If you have questions, please feel free to register. And I think we can conclude today's webinar.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for all the information. It's been great. I think we learned a lot for the writing and the reading part of the CELPIP.
Yeah.
And now if you need any support, you can contact the center or Christina. We will be happy to help you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for hosting us. Have a lovely day.
Thanks again, everybody. Take care and see you later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.